So I want to welcome you to another episode of the Roll Call. And this is something that we've been doing for the last several weeks. I enjoy this format and I think many of you do as well. If this is your first time watching or listening, I want to definitely encourage you to stick around because I think that you're going to enjoy what we do here. And what we do is we spend some time talking about some news and some current events, sometimes very briefly. But what I also try to do is to spend some time pulling information, pulling comments, pulling questions, pulling thoughts from the comic book community. And you literally have an opportunity to hear from some of your peers. So with that said, welcome to the Roll Call. So the very first thing that I want to talk about is an alert and an announcement that I saw that came out from AMC that honestly has disappointed me a little and maybe disappointing a lot of you as well that may be sitting at home sheltering in place with nothing to actually watch on the TV. Or maybe you were looking forward to watching this and now you know that you won't actually get a chance to see it anytime soon because no definitive date has been announced for AMC's recent Walking Dead spinoff. And I was reading a lot of the comments on Twitter. People aren't happy about this one. People are not happy about this one. But to be honest with you, I am very disappointed. So the headline for this thing is that AMC's The Walking Dead World Beyond walks away from its April 12th debut. And again, this has a lot of folks very upset, but it says here that AMC has announced that it will postpone the premiere of its latest Walking Dead spinoff show, The Walking Dead World Beyond, to an undisclosed date later this year. The show, described as a 2-season limited event, was originally scheduled to premiere April 12th. And the announcement that they put out on Twitter was very, very brief. It basically said, we're moving it back. Stay tuned. Follow us on Twitter for additional details. And that was it. There was not a whole lot of context for it. Some have speculated that because of what is happening with COVID-19, that's why they decided to actually push it back. Others are like, hey, this is the perfect time to actually release something like this because a lot of people are looking forward to having something really exciting to watch. And I will tell you, I love The Walking Dead. I haven't seen the last couple of seasons just because I've been preoccupied with other things. But the first several, I enjoyed. The spinoff that they did, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Anything that includes zombies, I am generally a fan of. And so while I don't know all of the particulars, in a very short period of time, there was a lot of comments that were left on this Twitter post. So I don't know how you feel about it, but I at least wanted to make you guys aware that we won't be walking with the dead anytime soon. So I attended Howard University, and while there, I took a philosophy class. And in this philosophy class, in the final, our professor asked us one simple question for the final. What is philosophy? And it's a super simple question, but not necessarily an easy one to answer because what he wanted us to do is to kind of explore everything that he had talked about over the course of an entire semester where he was defining what philosophy is and what it isn't. And it was a really fantastic final. I'm going to tell you, I don't think any of us were expecting a single question final. And I had a little bit of a flashback recently. I had a little bit of a flashback when a subscriber by the name of Arielle asked me a very simple question as well that gave me a flashback to that professor's class with what is philosophy? And I'm going to attempt to answer Arielle's question in this segment. And I'm going to attempt to do it in fewer than 30 pages. Because 30 pages is what I wrote for this professor's final in class. And yes, it was double-spaced, single-sided, but it was still 30 pages. It was still an impressive presentation. And I was able to get an A. I was able to get an A on that final and in this class. And I'm hopeful that I will also get an A from Arielle on this one as well, but we shall see. So Arielle's question was whether I believed that the red ocean created or could create the blue ocean. And again, very simple question. And there are some of you out there that heard that question and are like, what are we talking about? I thought we were talking about comics. We are. And I definitely want to encourage you, if you are not familiar with red ocean, blue ocean, to go back and watch or listen to the recording that I did on my speculation strategy, because there I will give you a lot more background on red ocean versus blue ocean, but I will attempt to give you a snippet here. The red ocean is basically the bloody waters of competition. It is where most people speculate. It is where prices are surging as a response to people flooding into a specific character or book and buying up those books for the purpose of having them, which drives the price up. So there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of energy in this red ocean opportunity. And it's exciting, right? It is definitely exciting to be in red ocean territory. Now, if you contrast those bloody waters of competition to the blue ocean is much calmer, much more of a serene type of environment. Prices are not surging because there is not the excitement around certain books or characters or even periods in time, right? Because there isn't a whole lot of excitement, but there are opportunities. There are opportunities to get really cool books at fair prices because everyone is not flooding into the market or to that sector, to that area with their dollars to spend. So that's a quick snapshot of red ocean versus blue ocean. And so Arielle's question was, does the red ocean create the blue ocean? And I've actually thought a lot about this one. I've given this one some consideration, and I've decided in my head that the red ocean does not create the blue ocean. And if you have listened to the speculation strategy video and you have a difference of opinion, I'm definitely open to hear what your thoughts are. But I do not believe that the red ocean creates the blue ocean. I believe that the blue ocean exists. The blue ocean is the vast majority of this comic book hobby. It is the vast majority of what is out there. When you think about all of the genres, all of the sectors, all of the areas that exist around the umbrella or under the umbrella of comics, comic collecting, the vast majority of what is out there is blue ocean. But I can tell you for a fact that it doesn't feel that way. It doesn't feel that way. When something exciting happens in the comic book community, it feels big. It feels everywhere because it's in the blog posts and in the YouTube videos and in the podcast and in the news alerts that come out from the apps and from the news alerts that come out from the various websites that we all read. It feels big when there's an announcement of something being optioned or a movie being made or a trailer being dropped. There is so much excitement and energy, and it feels like it's everywhere. It's not. It's not. It is what we feel. It is our perception of it, that the red ocean is this massive thing that everywhere we look, prices are surging for every single book. It's out of control. The prices are too crazy. The reality is that the red ocean is crazy by definition, but the red ocean is not everything. The vast majority is blue ocean territory. If you sit back, if you take a step back from it, you will see that. At least I believe that you will. Red ocean, because it is the bloody waters, because there is a lot of noise and a lot of excitement and a lot of energy, it feels bigger than it truly is. The vast majority of what is out there is blue ocean. At least that is my belief. And again, if you are not familiar with what I'm talking about, you go back and you listen to that recording and you have a difference of opinion, let me know. If you've heard that recording and you have a difference of opinion, let me know. I want to have that conversation. So I definitely want to encourage you to leave your comments behind so that we can talk about it, because I think that a little respectful, healthy debate is never a bad thing.
Matthew, are you there?
Yeah, Reggie, I'm here.
All right, so I want to thank you for giving me just a couple of minutes to chat with you. I put up a post and I was asking people like how they were spending their time, because a lot of people are doing this shelter in place and trying to be out of public. And so you responded saying that you were doing a cool project, and so I wanted to get you on the line so that people could hear a little bit more about what you're working on.
Oh, not a problem. Yeah, I'm off of work here they're telling me at least 2 weeks. I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit longer, but basically I have a lot of time to do nothing. And because of you, I'm doing this comic book room, I call it comic book room makeover. That was the name you gave it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm putting a lot of work into that room, and I had to put new walls in it. I'm putting a new floor in, and obviously paint job and everything that goes with it.
I want to jump in there. So did you just say that I gave you a honey-do list that you're working on? Is that what I just heard?
I didn't think about it like that, but yes. No, you had that awesome idea of a comic book room makeover a few months ago, and honestly, you didn't even ask for people to submit ideas to have a room makeover. It was just, hey, show me your comic book room and ideas you have with it, and I sent you a video. And then a month or two later, you put out a video on your YouTube channel, and you turned it into a contest, which I was just completely honored to be on that contest. But, the subscribers, I guess they voted me #1 for it, and I was extremely honored with that.
Yeah, man, it was actually a really fun project for me to work on as a YouTuber and to get. I think there were almost 20 videos that people actually submitted in with all kinds of really great ideas for what they wanted to do with their rooms, and we ended up narrowing it down to 4 people, and then we opened it up, and the people voted, and a ton of people voted for you, and they liked your ideas, they liked your setup, they liked your books and everything that you were working on, and you were picked the winner. But I think you took it to a whole another level. You know, I was expecting people to make some updates and some improvements, but you've taken it a step further with everything that you're doing.
Well, your generous gift of $250, Home Depot gift card, and then plus the sponsors' gifts. Honestly, those items, they came in the mail, and I went up to the room that I have, and please don't think my whole house looks like that, but that room was a storage room by the original owners. And honestly, for 50 years they used it. They never finished the walls or finished the floor, and that room, it's kind of out of the way from the rest of the house. Like, obviously you can get to it, but it's just not a room that you're in every day. And I always had another project that I wanted to work on more than that room. So that room was always just put on the back burner for me. But whenever I saw all those incredible prizes, I was like, no, I cannot put these, the collector mount and the collector resources mount. I couldn't put those on the walls that were not finished. So I did take it to another level.
Yeah, and it's come a long way, man. I mean, it's looking really good. So I definitely want to applaud you for that. I mean, I think it's great that you're finding, such good uses for your time, given that you are off of work. So how much longer do you think you have before you put the finishing touches on the room?
Well, hopefully I don't have any snags in time, but definitely within a week or two, I'll be finished putting it all together. But
very nice.
Yeah, hopefully Home Depot stays open. That'll determine a little bit about it.
Home Depot gets so much of my money, it's not even funny, man. All right, Matt, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put up on screen and also in the description of this video where people can actually check out the footage of all of the work that you've done, both on your YouTube channel and also on Instagram. Hopefully that's cool with you, yeah?
Oh, that's absolutely cool. Now, I don't have a video on YouTube about any of the updates I've done to the room. I do have a video about what updates I do want to do. I posted that about a month ago, and I do plan on making a video available whenever it's all said and done.
Yep, and on your YouTube, I think they can see some of the prizes that you were talking about from the sponsors, if memory serves.
Yes, that is correct.
All right, cool. Matthew, I want to thank you for taking the time to chat with me. This has been awesome, and I think people are definitely going to enjoy this segment.
All right, hey, thanks for giving me the opportunity, Regie.
Arielle, I want to thank you for giving me a couple of minutes of time with you. And what I really wanted to talk about was a blog post that you recently wrote. And so I want to ask you, what was that blog post and where was it posted?
Thank you for actually having me here, Reggie. And the blog post was Blue Ocean Books, and I posted it on Go Collect.
There you go. So you've been a blogger for Go Collect for how long now?
Maybe about a year, maybe a little bit more than a year.
Wow. And I've actually covered a couple of your blog posts in the recap video that I actually do for Go Collect, but the one that you did on Blue Ocean kind of caught my attention because I want to say that blog post was actually inspired by the video that I posted up a couple of weeks ago. Is that a fair assumption to make?
Oh, no, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, so let me ask you, what was it, after you heard that recording on the channel, what was it that inspired you to actually put pen to paper, if you will, to write a blog post focused on Blue Ocean books? What was it?
Many people always dive into, like I mentioned, the Hellrisen 3 and the Batman 89. And instead of having everybody search after that one single book, why not actually spread out and get books that people aren't talking about, aren't looking at, which opens up the field for you to get books that you wanted in the past and maybe completely forgot about, or that you haven't really been paying attention to.
Yep, because one of the principles that I believe is that when somebody starts talking about a book, it draws your attention to that book, right? Because you may not even have been aware of that book, but people start talking about it. There's some excitement that draws your attention, and then also your wallet, right, your dollars. But I think what you're basically saying is that, you know, instead of focusing on those books that everyone is talking about, you may want to instead focus on some of those books that you wanted in the past that may have, you know, slipped your mind, that you may have forgotten about. Is that fair?
Oh, absolutely. And we all know when a new movie comes out, it spikes the books. So when everybody stops talking about that movie, the books always dip. And that's when the Blue Ocean arrives, and you can buy the books right there for a decent price or even way below F&B.
There you go. Because at the end of the day, it's really about trying to build a really great collection, but also doing so smartly, right? And sometimes buying when not a hot book is the right time to actually pick up one of those books that you may have wanted. Fair?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's like a lot of people think more with their heart, and sometimes you need to think with your wallet, like you said.
Yep. And so you in your article, in your blog post, highlighted a couple of books that people should consider picking up. And I'm not going to put you on the spot to remember all three, but I think it was three. But I'm hopeful you remember at least one of those books. And so I want to ask you, if you can name off one of those books that you highlighted and maybe give us a little bit of context for why that particular book was selected.
Oh, definitely. Iron Man is Samaritan #1. That's a beautiful book. And I know in prior videos you stated about the ribbon, how it looks awesome, and that one and Iron Man #1, which I love them both. Right now, people aren't looking at that book, and it's taken I don't know if the value itself, I'd say, taking a dip, but in eBay, you can find them very, very cheaply, like $40-50 easily now. So it's a great time to buy that book.
Yep, and that Submariner Iron Man #1 one-shot is a really fantastic book. It's a great cover, and again, I think it's one of those books that people really aren't paying attention to, but maybe a couple of months ago when there was all of the excitement about Namor potentially coming into the MCU, that book was hot, and now all of a sudden people have moved on to Punchline and Clown Hunter and some of the other things.
Exactly.
And to your point, I think that's a perfect time for us to go back and ask ourselves, what do we really want to add to our collection? So,
definitely, and this book predates Iron Man #1 and Submariner #1, so it's great. It's one of those books that will always hold value in the collection.
There you go. And I'm actually proud to say I own 2 copies of that particular book.
And I own 1.
I'm glad I picked it up before you put that blog post up, to be honest.
Absolutely.
All right, Arielle, I want to thank you, man, for taking a couple of minutes here to chat with me about your blog post, about the Blue Ocean strategy. I absolutely appreciate it, and I think that people are going to enjoy this segment.
Absolutely, and thank you very much for everything. Appreciate it very much.